Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We have an amazing show for everybody today.
Indeed we do. So we got lots of friends of the show today. We got Emma Vigeland in, we got Tim Black in. We also have a surrogate for Pete Buttigieg's campaign to talk about their theory of the case, how they intend to win. So a lot of good stuff there. We also, though, this morning know that Democrats are planning to unveil at least 2 articles of impeachment on President Trump, Saagar, so we're looking at that as well.
Yes, so today, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she'll be having a press conference at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and she's going to be talking about they're going to be filing the articles of impeachment, but we also know, basically it was funny because she invited all, the Chairman Nadler, Judiciary, Intelligence, but a little known person on that was Richie Neal, House Ways and Means Chairman, and it's possible that we will be hearing this morning about a finalized deal to pass the USMCA trade agreement. So this took a lot of people by surprise. There's only 10 legislative days really before Congress is out, before they need to vote on articles of impeachment, and they are delivering the trade deal that the president, I think he delivered it almost 6 months ago. Lots of negotiations that were going on behind the scenes with the U.S. Trade Representative, and Jared Kushner and Bob Lighthizer are both down in Mexico today to try and hammer out some of those details. So big developments, actually. Only Nancy Pelosi, right, could impeach Trump and also give him the greatest win of his career on the exact same day. I think that probably encapsulates the Nancy Pelosi speakership.
Just from a purely strategic perspective, it could not be a dumber move. And I know, all these, sort of blue dog and moderate Democrats, oh, we have to pass it so we can say we did something. Please,
right.
That's going to change. Now any Republican and who was crafting a negative ad is going to be oh, well, now I have to step back because they did so. Please, you're giving him a gift with impeachment, especially with this timeline that keeps progressive Democrats off the trail. Now you're going to give him a gift in terms of a win that he can take to the American people and say, look, I told you I was going to get this done. I got it done. He's been able to get almost nothing accomplished in this administration, and you're going to give him this gift. Why?
We all know the
this?
answer as to why. Who loves USMCA? And look, I'm not saying USMCA is a bad trade agreement. As trade agreements grow, it's actually not bad. Has a lot of provisions in there. As I understand it, some of the, even labor is happier with it. AFL,
it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
AFL
but
doesn't love it.
It's better than what NAFTA was, right? And yet, at the same time, we all know why USMCA is a single thing that will get passed through this presidency and through the Democratic Congress. Because the market needs it. The corporations need it. Their supply chains and all this other stuff are deeply intrinsically tied with Mexico, and they have been screaming at their congressional representatives, who they've all bought off, saying, I pay you for one reason, and that's to go and pass this damn trade agreement. You can squabble over impeachment. I hear this from the business community.
Yep.
The single thing that they want more than anything resolved, USMCA and China. They're not going to get China because there's a lot of other considerations there. But on this one, the president actually delivered them a deal, and they have been breathing down the necks, Republican or Democrat, whomever, saying you better pass USMCA.
Part of the bipartisan consensus. Follow
there you go, everybody.
the money. I also wanted to talk a little bit about this IG report that came out yesterday, which of course is total Rorschach test, right? Democrats and their media allies go all over the drive. Oh, this completely, vindicates the FBI. Comey's out with his op-ed. Trump, it's all full of conspiracy theories. Republicans, of course, have a very different take, which they spin in their direction. But every American should be troubled about whatever you think of Carter Page. I've interviewed him here. I mean, whatever you think of him. The fact that they could use this process to so distort the facts and the evidence they have to mount a mass surveillance of an American citizen is deeply troubling. It really exposes the way that the FISA process just basically acts as a rubber stamp. There is no real accountability here. They can do this to Carter Page. They can do it to anybody, and take Trump out of it and all of that. That is extremely deeply troubling and demands reform.
It's really important that you highlight that. So I read the report, and the most chilling part is actually the part where they talk about the FISA and the request for the FISA. That FISA report request only had to be approved by the supervising special agent in charge of that investigation. Not a single representative of the Department of Justice was ever asked, an actual political representative of the U.S. government, the Obama administration at that time, was ever asked whether it was okay to obtain this FISA warrant. So in effect, The surveillance state only needs an approval from itself, from a mid-level bureaucrat, in order to violate the First Amendment rights of an American citizen. Everybody should be concerned about this, because what is the predecessor of this type of behavior, spying on campaigns? It was the progressive left.
Yes.
It was the left in this country that was originally spied on by the FBI. Now, what it really is, it shows you the bipartisan concentration of the center and how they will spy on anybody anti-establishment, left and right, in order to defeat.
Well, and Democrats and Republicans have come together, especially in the wake of 9/11, to give the national security state and the executive mass powers here, basically completely unaccountably. You're talking about drone strikes, even on American citizens. You're talking about warrantless wiretaps. You're talking about this FISA court, which is just a rubber stamp. I mean, we see that so clearly here.
And this didn't even go through. This didn't even have to go through the court. I'm talking about in the FBI itself.
Right.
They lied. I mean, in their evidence, they just withheld information. They distorted information. They included completely BS information from the Steele dossier. It was insane. And whenever you read it, and you're like, oh my God, this was the predominant document based on this literal crap, was what was enough in order to obtain a FISA on an American citizen. And I want to highlight this again, which is, when you get a FISA on somebody, it's not just that person. It's everybody that they talk to, right? So it's incidental collection. And including in that report, a high-level official on the campaign who did not have a FISA had their information identified and a recorded part of their conversation. Think about that. That's stored in an FBI vault.
Anyone with concerns about government power and government abuse of power should be deeply concerned about this, however you feel about Donald Trump. We're going to tell you what's on our radars, though. That is next.